So welcome to the Out of the Blue Drill Hall, home of Out of the Blue Arts and Education Trust. I'm Rob Hoon, I'm manager of Out of the Blue, and we're going to give you a wee tour of the drill hall today. So if you'd like to follow me. So the Out of the Blue Drill Hall is an A-listed building, and it's listed for its architectural and historical significance. It's now home to Out of the Blue since 2002, when we bought it off the Army. This is the way into the drill hall, which is a massive space full of activity. I say full of activity, it was before COVID. This board here used to have all our activity up, where we have classes and workshops and rehearsals and events and markets. At the moment we're just using it to remind everyone to stay safe and to look after themselves once they're in the drill hall. But come through and see what we have. So this is the main drill hall. When we bought it off the Army, it was all just a blank space. We've since converted it into studios. We have over 160 artists based here in the studios, and we have activities that go on in this hall. We run a lovely community cafe, which also runs as a training project for young people. I'm going to take you through here to show you why the drill hall is a listed building. If you come this way. So, in 1915, a troop train carrying troops from the Royal Scots who were based here in the drill hall were travelling down the west coast, heading for Liverpool, where they were to be shipped to Gallipoli. Tragically, the train was involved in the worst ever train crash on British soil, and consequently over 220 passengers were killed when a troop train was hit by an express train travelling down through Gretna Green. In 2015, Out of the Blue did a centenary project, social history project, to mark that occasion, and we produced a play called Persevere, which was done by Active Inquiry in Strangetown, who are two theatre companies based out of the Blue. We did research about the happenings and the impact on the Leith community, and the local youth project, Gormany Youth Centre, produced this Tree of Life, which, as you can see, is a beautiful piece of art that represents the tragedy. It shows the names of all the young soldiers who were killed in that train crash. So there's a group worked to produce this artwork here. Through here we have a mural that we commissioned from a photograph of the last surviving member of who was involved in the train crash. We also worked on a film documentary of the project, which showed the whole process, and working with a number of people who were involved in the different aspects of the project, and ended up with an exhibition produced by citizen curator and Jamie Brown. The resulting film documentary by Ray Bird is on the Out of the Blue website, and it's well worth a watch if you've got half an hour to spare, but it runs through the whole events of 1915, and it runs through the whole process of the 2015 centenary. So after Out of the Blue bought the drill hall in 2002, we set about converting it into a multi-purpose arts centre. This space here we built in 2004, and since then it's been used by hundreds of people each week. Thousands of people come through the doors each year to get involved in all manner of creative workshops. So in this space, as you can see, there's space for dance, there's space for aerial, there's theatre companies, there's all manner of meetings, workshops go on every week, or did before COVID. Our main hall, as you can see, stretching all the way back to the back building, which is also full of artists who are working away in a variety of mediums. You're looking down the length of the hall at an installation that was produced by Biomorphis for our 25th anniversary, which was last year. And down below us here we have the Out of the Blue Drill Hall Cafe, which runs as a social enterprise and a training project, and has been open for about 10 years, feeding the community of Leith. Normally we have lots of events that the cafe organise, like markets, etc., which are on hold at the moment, but the cafe is now open for business and people are gathering in a social distanced, safe fashion. So we're now in the front building, which is the architecturally most significant part of the Out the Blue drill hall. Again, we've converted a lot of the rooms into artist studios where we have all manner of artists, from painters to designers and filmmakers, etc. So if you want to come with me, we'll go up the main staircase. So this is the front building of the drill hall, which before Out the Blue took it on, it was the officers' quarters. We've since converted it into a whole range of studios for all manner of artists, including the Officers' Club, who are a bunch of designers, etc. So when we first came into the drill hall, this was full of all manner of officer type material like stags' heads, etc. And we've replaced it by putting some of the work of the artists on the wall. So if you come this way, we'll go and have a look inside one of the studios. So in 1915, after the Gretna rail tragedy, the community of Leith didn't know who'd survived and who'd died. The soldiers, the dead bodies were brought back to the drill hall, and eventually the people of Leith gathered outside the drill hall, and from this window one of the officers threw open the window and read out a list to the community outside so they knew who had died and who had survived. 3 days later there was a funeral cortege that went down to the Rosebank Cemetery, where there is now a memorial to the Gretna rail tragedy. Out of the Blue obviously have commemorated that tragic event, but are now very much working to provide a resource for the people of Leith. This is now a studio which is recently been vacated, and we're just marketing again, but every space that comes available we put out to our waiting list of over 200 artists looking for space in Edinburgh. So Out the Blue are a social enterprise, and one of the things we do is encourage new enterprises to be born at the drill hall, and then that creates jobs, and we run training schemes, etc. But I'm going to take you to show you Out on the Blueprint, which is an initiative that we started some 5 years ago, and I'll introduce you to the team there. So if you want to come this way. So this is the Out of the Blueprint studio, and the team are within. This is Johnny, who's the manager, who's going to tell you something about it.
Come on in. So this is Out of the Blueprint. My name's Johnny. I manage studio. We're a specialist printers. We print Riso print, which is a very colourful print used a lot by artists, comic artists, designers. And we've been going for 5 years. We're set up as a social enterprise. So we do commercial print work, and from the returns from that we support young people, and we support them to do their own creative projects, and we also support young people through providing traineeships. So I'll just show you very quickly the printing style that we do. This is an example of a piece that we're working on at the moment by an artist called Nathaniel. We print one layer at a time, so this is the first layer. We will then let that dry and put it through to do the second layer, and we build up the colour layers one at a time, so that by the end we produce something like this. So very popular, like I say, with young comic artists. This is an example of one that we've also been working on this week. Just produced 100 of these and are sending these off to the artist. And Claire is working on chopping down Lord Zom's latest one, which is the Slug Zone. So a 3-colour comic all about slugs. So that's Out of the Blueprint.
So that's us. Thanks very much for coming on the Doors Open Day virtual tour of the Out of the Blue drill hall. Please visit us again, come in person to the cafe, or keep an eye out on our social media. media and our website, outoftheblue.org.uk, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future.